It's been almost 5 years Titanfall 2 has been released and I still think this is an underrated FPS shooter. Replaying this game in 2021 still feels great and convinced me enough to review it. Starting with the campaign would be the logical thing to do, and I'll just start by saying that the campaign is just too short and it doesn't have enough content. With only 9 missions in the single player, the story of this game follows a pilot and a titan where their bond becomes stronger throughout different missions. The plot is comprised of a typical save the world type of story that you expect from a military shooter game, which I think isn't the strong point of this game. There are 4 difficulties and playing on hard mode doesn't really feel hard, or at least didn't feel that complex to me. I think the reason of this is the multiplayer, but I'll get to that in a bit. So you are Jack Cooper, a rifleman and a pilot of a Titan named BT, which is a Vanguard class Titan. I don't know what makes the Vanguard class different from the other Titans, but I believe a Vanguard is stronger and it can hold more than one loadout, unlike any other regular Titans you face. In most parts you operate your Titan and battle your enemies, but you can also move on foot. The combat feels quite natural for the most part, with additional impressive movements. You can make this game really fast with the splendid wall running and double jumping Respawn Entertainment has implemented in this game. In simple terms, you can do these stunts in Titanfall 2, like wall running and shooting, double jumping to avoid enemy fires, or use your cloak ability to reposition yourself and fight from another position. Titanfall 2 offers some of the best unique weapons in any tactical shooter. Even though Apex Legends came after Titanfall 2, the weapons were actually inspired heavily from Titanfall. Like instead of Apex's R301, you get the R201 or the fast-firing R97 instead of R99. But most of the guns are pretty much the same in terms of their name or looks. Gunplay feels more comfortable than Apex because of more hit scans in the weapons. It doesn't feel like there's much bullet drops in the weapons too. Your Titan BT is another interesting part in the game. You can pretty much destroy everything as BT, whether it's a Titan or an infantry. BT can have up to 8 loadouts in its pocket. There isn't any significant mechanic about the loadouts, you simply just pick them up along the way, and they are also not hidden or anything. You're most likely to notice these blue outline loadouts without any issue. Every loadout has different tactics and mechanics though, and it's a really cool thing. The weapons and abilities are different in each loadout. These loadouts let you use machine gun or rockets or fire, but I really liked using the tone loadout. It lets me shoot trackers, which damages the Titans, and also with 3 trackers placed I can shoot locked on missiles that doesn't even require any aiming. Every loadout also has their core attack, which is basically an ultimate feature like any other hero shooter game. You can change your loadout at any time to be more creative with this campaign. The battery pickups works as a healing mechanism for the Titan. There are levels which include some specific items that can only be used in that level and not anywhere else. Like in Chapter 5, you get a device to time travel and kill enemies in both timeline. This part was the best, to be honest. Shooting enemies and then changing timeline to reposition or healing up feels awesome. It shows you a type of silhouette of where the enemy's position is, so you can go closer, change the timeline and punch him in the face. Another level has this smart pistol, which is basically a pistol with aimbot. The pistol is by far the best gun in the whole game. Just glad this is not in the multiplayer though. The level design gives you enough opportunities to wall run and hit enemies in the face. I really didn't like the AI of the enemies that much. The soldiers seems to get totally confused sometimes where they stand still at a place just to take a punch in their face. Like I said, the hard difficulty didn't really feel hard for me, or maybe it felt that way because I played Doom Eternal on Nightmare mode recently. Weird flex, I know. Another thing I didn't really like or pretty much had a neutral feeling about is the dialogues. The dialogues weren't that intriguing. Your character Cooper basically stays mute the whole game and he only talks when you are given some dialogue options or any super important cutscene plays.
Barely. That was a meat grinder. You okay?
I'm undamaged. However, I do not believe this is a food processing plant.
With my luck, this place is gonna turn itself inside out.
Or upside down, considering the circumstances.
Bruh. Sometimes the enemy titans say some cringy brave dialogues just to get absolutely demolished by my hand, which is just hilarious. You also fight some Titan bosses on your way, and some bosses with additional Titans around made me die a few times, but at least I was among the 11% who didn't choose to be a game journalist or whatever. Anyway, the whole story is to show you how a robot and human's relationship develops in a good way. There isn't anything else to say about the campaign. It's a good one, but it's short. A few more missions would make the story mode more fun. Titanfall 2 really fucking shines when it comes to the multiplayer mode. It's actually really fun. My first impression was this is gonna be a casual multiplayer game where I just shoot some Titans with my own Titan, but there's a fair amount of tactics in the multiplayer mode too. like grappling and wall running like a maniac and then trying to track someone from an opponent team when he jumps around like a monkey feels actually hard. This is where the difficulty really pushes you to the limit. Hitting shots is straightforward, but it needs good aim and tracking skill. Modes like attrition or capture the flag is an enjoyable experience, and since Titanfall is getting some more attention for Apex Legends recent whatever the fuck, I don't have any idea, getting a match is a lot quicker than before. Gameplay wise, multiplayer mode is a really fun experience to casually chill or just go try hard mode. You start killing opponents as a foot soldier, and by killing you charge your Titan and then you can deploy it anywhere and begin the destruction. Titan vs Titan fight can be hard depending on your position. It requires good timing with your arsenal capabilities, but when you get the sweet finisher, the work is worthwhile. You can also destroy Titans when you are on foot with your anti-Titan weapons. Like I use the grenade launcher in my loadout. Both pilot and soldier loadout can be customizable to an extent. I think the multiplayer is easy to learn but hard to master, which makes it even better for casual shooters to adapt with the playstyle of this game. But overall it's a really fun experience. There's really nothing to hate in this game or complain about. Besides having a short campaign and the lackluster dialogues, this game is a great tactical FPS shooter that still provides a playable experience.